Okay, I'm back. So a block on our backs. Go ahead and make your way down to your back. Perhaps we'll take just a nice long stretch here for a moment. Point the toes, reach the fingertips overhead. Stretch, stretch, stretch. See if you can lift the rib cage here just a little bit. And then draw the navel down towards the mat so that you start to engage the core here a little bit. And then we'll bend the knees, plant the feet onto the mat, bring the hands down, maybe place one hand on the heart space and one hand at the low belly. And just take a couple of breaths here. Slowing that breath down. Setting an intention for your practice this morning. And then slowly reach for that block, bridge up, and go ahead and slide that block underneath your sacrum. And just rest. Heavy here. We haven't done this for a little while, but wiggling your feet out wide and maybe just dropping the knees and the thighs in towards each other. Just letting kind of the hips rotate in, turning off any of the glute muscles. You should just start to feel just a little bit of tweaking of that internal hip rotation. And then go ahead and parallel the feet. And we'll walk our legs out straight. Just get that stretch across the front of your body. Core muscles. Just a little supported back bend. If there's any discomfort in the low back, please just bend the knees and walk the feet in just a little bit. And then let's walk the feet in next to each other and close to the block or the sitting bones, and then take the soles of the feet together. Let the knees go wide. Little hip opener. Still up on the block if that's comfortable for you. One more breath here. And then slowly bring the knees together. And let's just take each heel up towards the ceiling or the sky and flex and point the ankles. And maybe circle the ankles. Maybe creating a little bit of circular movement, making circles with the heels, inner circles, making them wider and wider. Feeling that great massage on the low back. And then switch directions, making wide circles. And then slowly just bringing those circles in smaller. And still up on the block if you can tolerate this feeling on the back. And just start to hug the knees in towards your chest. So I like this because it helps curl that tailbone up, if that's okay for your back. If not, then just go ahead and remove the block. Then take the legs back up. We're just going to scissor the legs, cross the right knee over the left knee, bend the knees, and see if you can just reach for the ankles. Again, you can be on the block or remove the block. Using the block helps to keep the head and neck long on the mat. Just kind of emphasizing the squeezing of the thighs together, getting this hip stretch, internal rotation. And then uncross the legs and scissor the left leg over the right, bend the knees. Shoelace pose, but just with this little extra curling up at the tailbone. Just nice and easy. And then go ahead and uncross the legs. And we'll take both feet down to the mat. And let's go ahead and press into the feet. Knees and thighs are parallel to each other. Hands are alongside your hips. Go ahead and bridge up off of that block. And then you can slide the block out from underneath you. Maybe take it to the back of your mat overhead here. And slowly, keeping those hips lifted, just see if you can point the right foot out, maybe up towards the ceiling, keeping the hips raised, engaging the core, and then take that right foot down. Stay lifted in your bridge. Left leg points, maybe lifts up to the ceiling. Keep trying to lift the hips up. And set that foot down. Slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Perfect. And we're just going to windshield wipe the knees here from side to side. So without the block at this point, just feeling the heaviness in the hips, grounding here to the mat. Nice gentle twist. Next time your knees are over onto that right side, go ahead and let them rest there, ground through the shoulders. And take the arms a little bit more out to a T, look over the left shoulder. If you want a little bit more stretch, you can pick up that lower right ankle, cross it over the top leg. You can press into the toe mound of the left foot just to give yourself just a little bit more stretch and energy into that top hip. And then slowly uncrossing, coming back to center. Let's go ahead and hug the knees into the chest just to realign our spines here. Option to curl up into a little ball, draw the forehead up towards the knees. Slowly lower back down. Take the feet down to the mat. Maybe just twist it out again just a few times. Windshield wiping the knees back and forth. And the next time the knees are on that other side, that left side, go ahead and let them rest there. Grounding through the shoulders. Look over the opposite shoulder. An option to pick up the lower left ankle, set it to the outside of that top right thigh. And so just kind of flexing that bottom right foot and pressing the toe mounds into the mat. Just kind of lifts kind of isometrically this right hip up a little bit. Increasing your twist. And then slowly uncrossing the legs, coming back to the center if you want to twist it out a few times. Just to release that tension. All right, so we're going to revisit that shoelace twist. So take the legs up overhead, cross the right knee over the left. Hug and squeeze the legs into each other, bend the knees. This time we are going to curl up. We're not on the block. So keep scissoring those thighs, knees really close together. Reach for the ankles or maybe even the big toe here. Crunch the forehead up towards the knees. And if you can, just start to roll here a little bit. And possible, roll on up to seated and just start to fold over the legs, forward fold. And next inhale, come on up, nice and tall, tall spines. So we're going to twist to the right, so towards that top knee. Keep the torso nice and tall, look over the right shoulder. And next breath, coming back. Go ahead and hold on to those big toes or ankles again. Squeeze the legs here to midline. We're going to tuck the chin, roll on back, switch the legs, squeeze the thighs, start to rock. Come all the way back up, fold over those crossed knees. These are cow-facing legs, so the knees are crossed on top of each other. The legs are squeezing towards the midline. Inhale, come on up tall. Perfect. And then we're twisting to the left, so towards that top knee. Keep the fingertips nice and light with the left hand, looking over the left shoulder. Perfect. All right. So once again, we're going to hold on to those toes. Tuck the chin. That's really important. Roll back. And we're going to uncross the legs. You can tuck your hands behind the thighs. We're kind of just evening that back out. Massaging from the tailbone to the shoulder blades. And next time you rock up to seated, we're going to come up to a boat pose. Reach the arms nice and long. Legs can be slightly bent. Spine is long. And then slowly with control, set the feet down to the mat. Lift up drop the knees open. Go ahead and fold forward.
Just hang out here in your forward fold. One more breath.
And we'll come up nice and tall. Find a nice, easy Sukhasana pose. And we're just going to work a little bit on our necks here since it's nice and early in the morning. So take a nice deep inhale, sit up nice and tall. And on your exhale, just drop your chin to your chest. Next inhale, take your chin over towards that right side, just kind of following the collarbone so that the right ear comes to the right shoulder. Make sure that shoulder's not hiking up to meet the ear. And take that opposite left arm and stretch it out. Notice if there's any electricity going on in this left side. This can be a little bit of a nerve stretch. And then go ahead and use your right hand to the right temple. Lift your head up. Perfect. All right. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. Exhale, drop the chin to the chest. And drop. Slowly, you're just sweeping, following that collarbone with your chin over to the left side, left ear to left shoulder. Soften the left shoulder away from the ear, no cheating here. And then you can extend that right arm out. Excuse me. And then very carefully take your left hand to the left temple and help your head back up. Always seems silly, but it's kind of nice to do that a little bit in the morning. So a little bit of stretch with our shoulders. Reach our arms out nice and wide. Take the fingers back as if you were pressing the palms to these invisible walls on either side of us. And then we're going to take that right arm across the body, hook it with your left, and the left hand can come to that right tricep for a little extra stretch. Big inhale, big exhale. Next inhale, reach the arms wide, big stretch. And left arm goes across the body, hook it with the right. Next inhale, reach wide. Perfect. Okay. Take the hands back behind you. Lean back just a little bit. We're going to take the legs up. It's kind of like a modified boat pose because we have the support of the arms. Cross the right knee over the left. We're coming into those cow-facing legs again. So squeeze the thighs to the midline here. So we'll do the full cow-facing pose here. So reach the arms out wide. You're going to take the opposite, so the left knee's underneath. So then the right arm's going to go underneath. You can either come with your arms interlaced out here like eagle arms, or you can reach for your shoulder blades. Whatever feels comfortable to you this morning. Take a nice deep breath, inhale, grow tall through the torso, and then on your exhale, kind of curl forward fold. The elbows can come in front of the knees if possible. Tuck the chin to the chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. And then carefully unwrap the arms. Take them back behind you, lean into them. Legs come up. And switch the wrap of the knees. Perfect. Sit up again. I always find this is a little more comfortable since we've stretched the hips a little bit a few times. And so now this right knee is underneath. Arms go wide. And the left arm goes under the right arm for either your eagle arms or reach for your shoulders. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, crunch forward. Tuck the chin to the chest. And last time, come on up. Unwrap the arms. Fingertips come back. We'll go ahead and reach both toes out in front. If you want to come into a boat pose, feel free to do that. And then we're going to come out of the boat pose just into a nice seated pose, Sukhasana. And just a couple of side bends here. So take your right hand to the mat, inhale, reach up and fold over. Make sure you soften that bottom right elbow, getting into the side waist. And you can just go ahead and spin open here just a little bit, dropping this left shoulder back. Maybe opening the arm back just a little bit, let it fall way back. And inhale, come on up. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling, beautiful. And fold forward or fold sideways to the left. So make sure that bottom arm's not straight so that you have some place to stretch into. Open, twist open here just a little, dropping that right shoulder back. Sky's getting a little bit lighter, beautiful. Few clouds. All right, come on back up. And we're gonna take our legs out straight for stick pose or dandasana. Hands are right alongside of the hips. Flex the ankles. So we've been doing a little bit of this internal rotation and hip stretches. So we want to get a little bit into those hamstrings. So really turn on those thighs. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hinge and fold forward. Next inhale, come on up just about halfway, lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Chest is reaching towards those thighs. And inhale, come back up. Perfect. All right. We'll do another couple of seated poses here before we start flowing this morning. Take your right foot into the left thigh here. And inhale, reach up. Full breath. And fold over. So trying to draw the chest and the nose down towards that knee, hinging at the hips. Maybe you keep flexing the left heel, drawing the toes towards you. Softening the back of the neck. Good morning, hamstring. And next inhale, come on up. Reach the arms tall. All right, we're going to take this right hand down by the right hip. And if you want to come into a knee down wild thing, you're kind of going to point this bottom right foot and then just lift the hips, stack the shoulders. As you press the hips forward, maybe come a little bit more into a back bend stretch. And slowly exhale, release, come on down. Perfect. And we'll switch the legs out. So bending the left knee, left foot comes into that right thigh. You got it. Reach up, full breath, and hinge forward. So notice this first hinge, at least for me, I feel this a little bit more in my back. So use your next breath to come in, find a little space in your torso, and then exhale, lower back down. Hopefully feeling this a little bit more in the back of the right thigh, the hamstrings. Take some time here. And next inhale, reach the arms up overhead. We're going to drop this left hand down next to the left hip, knee down wild thing on the other side. So distributing the weight along the whole shin on that left side, pressing the hips forward, and slowly exhale, release. Perfect. And we can take both legs out in front one final time here for, that was our last kind of seated pose. So bouncing the knees out. If you want to take the feet in and out a few times. Perfect. All right, come on to hands and knees. We'll start a little bit more of a flow here. Spread those fingers wide. Inhale, drop the belly and lift the heart. Cow pose. Exhale, cat. Draw the navel to the spine, chin to the chest, and just continue here to move with your breath. One more round, cat and cow. And as you come into your cat pose, take the hips slowly back to the heels and find child's pose. Collapsing the front of the body onto your thighs. And on your next inhale, we're going to slowly rise up to hands and knees. Tuck the toes under, make your way to our first down dog. And option to take your dog for a walk, pedaling knees, bending one, straightening the other. Press away with the bases of all 10 fingers, lengthening the spine. And then let's look up to our hands. Take as many steps, nice and slowly, up to the top of your mat. And we're just going to hang here in a ragdoll. Spend a little attention here looking at your feet. Make sure they're hip distance apart. Toes are kind of open as much as possible. Spread the toes wide. Hang here. Slight bend to the knees. Crown of the head is reaching towards the ground. And you can sway if you'd like. You can take those hands to the opposite elbows. Perhaps shake the head yes. Shake the head no. And slowly come on up halfway. So flat back, gazes down to the ground. Take another breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Bow over the legs. Let all the breath out. And then next inhale, roots rise. We're coming all the way up. Finally, take the palms together overhead. Exhale, slowly lower those hands to the heart space. Anjali Mudra. So kind of bring your awareness to that breath as it is just about the time of sunrise. We'll move through a full sun salutation. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Swan dive over. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant those hands, step back. Let's find a nice strong plank before lowering all the way down to the mat, Chaturanga. Maybe this first time we start all the way on the mat, peel up, just a baby cobra, engaging the spine, back muscles. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, tuck the toes under. Make your way back to down dog. Let's take about 3 connecting breaths here. Find as much length in your spine as possible. Find your breath. Slight bend to the knees, look up to your hands. So you can take a couple of nice big steps, or you can hop your feet forward. Rise up halfway. Lengthen the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Palms meet overhead, and exhale, slowly lower. Hands to the heart space. All right, inhale, reach. Big breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up halfway. Exhale. When you're ready, bend the knees, plant the hands. Come into plank. Slowly lowering Chaturanga. Maybe you hover. Choice of coming to up dog or cobra. And exhale, down dog. Find your breath. Exhale, look up to your hands. Step or jump your feet forward. Rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. And inhale, root to rise. Circle sweep the arms all the way up. Slowly lower the hands to the heart space. And bend the knees, coming into chair pose, Ukkantasana. So if your feet are a distance apart, you want to keep the thighs parallel to each other. Perhaps sit a little deeper. You can keep the hands right at the heart space, or you can reach the arms overhead parallel, your choice. Shoulders are kind of drawing down your back. One more breath here. Exhale, hinge and fold over. Inhale, half lift, telescoping, crown of the head forward. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, plank. You can always zip those knees down, lower to the belly. Chaturanga, inhale, cobra or up dog, completely your choice. Exhale, tuck the toes under, make your way to down dog, and reach the right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. We're going to go ahead and twist to the right here. So pressing away with the bases of both hands, trying to stack the hips. You can drop that right heel, get that nice stretch here. Reorient the knee, pull it into your chest. Think about that cat back. So you want to draw that knee and hug it into your chest, creating a lot of space between your shin and the mat. Take that leg back up, three-legged dog. This time we're going to take that right foot and set it on the inside of the right thumb. Root up, high lunge. All right, just kind of practice our balance here. You want to make sure your legs are in two track lines and both strong, distributing your weight. Go ahead and drop your arms to a T. And we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to twist to the right. Look over that back right shoulder. Notice that the knees and the hips stay forward. Balance, beautiful. All right, on your next breath, come back up to the high lunge. Maybe interlace the fingers. Option to gaze up. Nice. All right, exhale. Take the hands down to the mat. Step back, plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. And exhale, tuck the toes. Back to down dog. Left leg lifts behind you. Three-legged dog. Take your twist to the left. Try to stack the hips as much as possible. And bend that top knee. Whew. Slowly reorient that knee back to where it points down to the mat. Hug it up in towards your chest. Cat back. Think about space between the shin and the mat. Send that leg back up behind you, three-legged dog. And this time the left foot steps up, replacing that left hand. Root up, high lunge. So ideally we want that torso nice and tall, navel to spine, lefty right over the ankle, back right leg is strong. Drop the hands to a T, we'll twist to the left. Over the left shoulder. Next inhale, back to your high lunge, facing forward. Interlace the fingers. Maybe take the gaze up. Exhale. Take the hands back down to the mat. Step back, plank. We're going to go ahead and lower to the mat. And the good news is we're going to stand here on our bellies for a moment. So turn your cheek to one side, drape your arms alongside of your hips. And we're just going to bend the knees. Maybe just a little windshield wipe movement here, from side to side. And we're going to come on up to our forearms next. Sphinx pose. And then bend the right knee. Reach back, right hand for the right foot. Come into dancer's pose, pushing the foot into the hand, or bow pose if you want to reach opposite left arm forward. Exhale. When you're ready, release. Come all the way back down. You can turn your cheek the other way. You can windshield wipe the knees before coming back up to the forearms. Left knee bends. Reach back. So with your isometric energy here, you're pushing the foot into the hand, half bow, opposite right arm reaches. And slowly, let's take both hands alongside of the chest. We're going to press up to hands and knees. And we're going to drop the hips back for child's pose. So this will be our counter stretch after those back bends. Tuck the chin here a little bit in towards your chest so that you get the rounding of your spine. And inhale. Hands and knees, tuck the toes under, down dog. Look up to your hands, step or jump your feet forward. Come on up halfway. Exhale, fold. Coming back into chair pose, bring the hips close to the heels. Hands can come to the heart space. So lift the chest here just a little bit, drop the shoulders back, sitting in your chair. And you can take the heels up off the ground onto your tippy toes. Press all the way up to standing on your tippy toes, stretching for the sky. And then lower the heels. We'll just take the right hand down next to our side, and we're going to come back into that standing bow pose, which is dancers. Bend the right knee. See if you can take your hand to the big toe side of that right foot. Push the foot away into the hand. If you want more of a back bend here, keep the chest lifted. If you want more of kind of a hip stretch, then you can lean forward. No right or wrong. Exhale, release. Go ahead and let's just ragdoll forward. Take that little stretch here, perhaps a sway. One more side. Inhale, come on up halfway. Telescoping the spine. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, root to rise. Take the arms all the way up overhead. So find Samasthiti, same amount of pressure in both feet. The left hand comes down alongside, then the left knee. Hand reach to the big toe side of that right foot. So we don't want the knee going wide. Press the foot away into the hand. Dancer's pose. And on your next breath, let go of that foot. Fold forward. Let all the breath out. Maybe shake the head yes and no. All right, from here, we're just going to drop the hips down towards the heels and lift the chest. We're going to come like into a little toe stand here. So knees are parallel to each other. If possible, see if you can balance here and take the fingertips out long in front of you. And then slowly, let's see if we can take the hands to the inside of the thighs. Go ahead and bring those knees wide, heels pressed to each other. This is going to feel great on the low back. Walk the arms forward. And then start to walk your hands back. You're going to slowly lower down to a Badakanasana. So take your time. You don't bruise that tailbone. And you can take your peace fingers to the big toes, sit up nice and tall, take a nice deep inhale, and exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Come on back up. We're gonna do just a little arm shoulder stretch here. So we're basically gonna make this diamond shape, but behind us, kind of tuck the index fingers underneath your tailbone. Take the thumbs together, elbows wide. We're gonna lower down to our backs. Go nice and slow. We're pinning those hands underneath us, using the core to lower down. And you might feel just a little bit of stretch here in the front of those shoulder joints. Of course, the hip opening with the knees wide. If this is too intense for the shoulders, please just bridge up and slowly release the hands. This is okay. This is a great shoulder stretch. And slowly take those knees together and plant the feet to the mat. Go ahead and bridge up. Release the hands. Let's go ahead and take them wide to a T. Lower the hips. Windshield wipe the knees slightly here, side to side. You can also flip the palms up and flip the palms down if that was a lot of stretch for the shoulders. This might feel good. Just a little movement, mobility. And preparing for Shavasana. If there's just one additional pose you want to take, could be bridge pose or happy baby. We did not do pigeon, so if you want to stretch that outer hip, you can take the ankle to the knee, thread the hands behind the thigh. And you can switch sides. And slowly make your way into Shavasana. We'll stay in our Shavasana for nearly 4 minutes, and then I will guide us out. Softening the facial muscles here in the jaw. Very slowly begin to bring movement back into your body, wiggling fingers and toes, making those movements a little bit bigger, maybe circling the wrists and the ankles. Let's gather our knees to our chest. Give yourself a nice hug here. Slowly rolling onto either your left or your right side. And just take a moment here in our sideline child's pose, kind of a reset for our day. Slowly pressing up to a seated position. Eyes can stay closed. Bring the hands together, heart space. And with gratitude for each other, for our morning practice, the light in me honors that same light in each one of you. Namaste.